way, guys, I'm sure some of you have noticed what's been happening the last few days. I just want to let you all know right now, like, I'm in neither one of your fucking cults, okay? If you want me to be in your cult, you can go off. I'm not in the Dem cult. I'm not a Republican cult. I'm a free American. I'll make my own decisions, and I'll say whatever the I want about whatever president is in power, okay? Simple as that. I don't give a what you guys have to say. No, I mean it. It's like, if you guys are getting any I implore you to do the exact same thing. I know this is crazy, but did you know that politicians lie?
Wow.
That's something I just found out.
Wow.
Someone was like, Trump's a liar. You didn't know he's a liar? And I was like, oh, I thought they were all liars. I didn't realize that there were people that tell you the truth in politics. So what you do is, with politicians, is you gravitate towards the lies you like better. That's
because
what we
you
all
hope
do.
one or two of those lies happen.
Exactly. It's simple as that.
Seeing Andrew Schulz coping hard with the backlash from his viewers after getting duped in front of the whole world is one of the perks of being a professional hater. It's like watching Brendan Schaub insist he doesn't give a fuck about the haters in every single podcast he does, and then reading through court filings filled with private text messages from him complaining about how the haters are winning and keeping him up at night. I'm a simple man. I see Andrew Schulz squirming in his wife's capris and I click. The latest episode of Flagrant had more leg slapping, nipple squeezing, and fart sniffing than usual. It was like a group therapy session for comedians drunk on each other's $300 cologne. And the gaslighting was off the charts. The cope coming from Andy and the Toy Story boys is so bad at this point that the comment section is more entertaining than the podcast itself. The fact Andrew completely misunderstands why everyone's been criticizing him explains a lot. Schulz take accountability challenge, difficulty level impossible. Rich people laughing right to your face telling you to shut the fuck up is peak podcast era. I'll say whatever I want to whichever president is in power, as soon as they leave the building and can't hear what I have to say. Yeah, Andrew, you're so tough and confident. You sure showed us. Show title should be Backpedaling 101. That sarcasm he used to deflect on how much he fucked up is hilarious. Andrew got tricked by jingling keys, a true intellectual titan in the podcasting space. I'll say whatever I want to whatever president's in power, but not to their face. Dodge, duck, dip, dive, dodge. There are some Olympic-level 180s and backflips being done by these boys in the intro. The gaslighting on the intro is legendary. But it's not just the gaslighting that's got their fan base turning on them, it's the collection of straw man arguments they're making to justify why they got duped and why that's okay. They're basically arguing against points that no one's making, and that's the beauty of this whole situation. It's almost poetic. These guys have absolutely no idea what the problem actually is.
What's up, everybody? Apparently, we ruined America. You know,
Nice.
We were trying to hold the person in power, President Trump, accountable for not fulfilling some of his promises, and that was foolish, man.
Nah, you're an idiot,
That
dude.
was
You're
a
a bad
foolish
person.
thing to do. Once you vote for somebody, no matter what they do, even if it's the exact opposite of what they say they're going to do, you just ride that until the wheels fall off.
Yes, double
Right?
down.
Exactly.
Always double down.
Like if you vote for a guy that you know is dead, you pretend he's not dead for 4 years.
Exactly.
That's what makes you virtuous.
Absolutely.
Yes.
That's what makes you care about your country.
Pick a
side, man. Pick a side, and you die for that side. You know, so that's, you know, that was a big up of ours.
That was a big up, man.
Cute.
We just
Sick.
kind of wanted to know about Epstein, you know, victimizing 1,000 girls and who else he did it with. We just kind of wanted to know. And Trump was like, you're not going to know. And we were like, I don't like that.
Yeah, but
that's
being
our fault.
Yeah, that's being a bad American.
But we were being bad
A good
Americans
American
right
says,
there.
yes, T Daddy, thank you so much.
Damn.
Can I have some more?
Yes,
That's what you're supposed to say.
That's
That's what a good American says.
See, it's not about left versus right or Republicans versus Dems, and it's definitely not about the way they supposedly called out the president in last week's Flagrant episode. Let me lay this out for Andy and Akash in real simple terms so even their genius comedy brains can understand this. You guys are supposed to be comedians. You made it big through clipping up your crowd work on social media, and you backed it up through multiple JRE guest appearances. Then when your following got big enough, you somehow got the idea that you were an intellectual thought leader with hot takes and deep epiphanies that comedy fans would be interested in. So you rebranded your podcast from Flagrant 2 to just Flagrant. I mean, let's just appreciate the genius of that rebrand right there. And then you started talking more and more about about political issues and current events. Then 2024 came along and the Trump administration came up with a genius idea to cozy up to a bunch of influencers. You thought that meant your opinions mattered and it justified your rebrand from comedy podcast to public intellectuals with jokes. Trump won. The New York Times branded Andrew Schulz as America's foremost political journalist. Mission accomplished. You did it. You had the White House's attention. You had a comedy special on Netflix, a steady flow of political guests, and even the mainstream media were starting to acknowledge that you are a force to be reckoned with. But then everything fell apart in a matter of months. You picked a side, and then the leader of that side turned his back on you and told you to shut the fuck up and stay in your lane. I mean, just yesterday he publicly disowned you in an interview at the White House. He doesn't need you anymore. And it seems like your whole audience realized that you're not a fucking journalist. You're a comedy podcaster that bit off more than he could chew. And for some reason, you still don't get it.
You know what I'm getting a lot of? You talked to him, you platformed him as if he was at 0%. And then we talked to him and then he won the election. As if he had no shot of winning.
Hold on.
People were like, this guy's a monster, he's not a human being. Then we humanize him. That's what you keep saying.
Let's game theory this, Akash.
Yeah.
Okay, we are so powerful and influential by
Yes.
simply sitting down with him.
Yeah.
Right? We made him president.
Yeah.
So one would think that if we are disillusioned by some of the things that he is doing as president, and we're upset that that same influence might be able to make someone else president. So shouldn't you be embracing this massive influence?
Yeah,
that you
come
say
to
we
our
have?
side. That
Claim
sounds
we
nice.
have, yeah.
Or you just want to take no accountability for the fact that you ran a dead guy and a woman that couldn't speak.
Yeah. With no primary.
With no primary at all. So like, but again, we're
Maybe
asking,
she could speak, but she wouldn't speak to us.
Okay.
I wanted to talk to both people who could be president of the country.
Whoa,
Sorry,
whoa,
I'm an
you-
asshole.
you're being-
Sorry, I'm a bad
being
person.
an idiot.
Yeah, I'm being a-
Do you know that? I know this is crazy, but did you know that politicians lie?
Wow.
That's something I just found out. Someone was like, Trump's a f***ing liar. You didn't know he's a f***ing liar? And I was like, oh, I thought they were all liars. I didn't realize that there were people that tell you the truth in politics. So what you do is with politicians is you gravitate towards the lies you like better. That's
Because
what we
you
all
hope
do.
one or two of those lies happen.
Exactly. It's simple as that.
Schulz thinks the criticism is coming from the left. Bro, the criticism is coming from comedy fans who are sick and tired of listening to your political bullshit. They want the old Flagrant where you never used to pick sides and talk shit on everything and anything. These guys have gone so far down the rabbit hole on Twitter that they can't even understand the actual problem anymore. And the funniest part is their fans are literally spelling it out for them in the comment section underneath their own videos, just like I showed you at the beginning of this video. But they're so caught up in the replies on their tweets from bots that they spend most of their podcast now complaining about their haters. Someone needs to tell them that they've probably been arguing with computers. But every now and then these podcast millionaires remind us that they're not like us. They live in a completely different world with different rules, different struggles, and different pants. That's where the whole comedian political journalist thing goes out the window.
Maybe we are as powerful as they think we are. We changed politics, dude.
I mean, the White House did respond.
Yes.
They did.
They did
That was
respond.
great.
That's just awesome.
That was great.
I
That was
texted
the
him on the
dumbest thing
side.
that the White House has ever done. I just want to point this
No,
out.
I texted him on the side, and I was
Never
like,
respond to us.
but I was like, just take a second to appreciate how cool that is that the White House is saying your name. That's so crazy.
He was like, he said something like, Andrew knows that life is better in America right now. And I'm sitting there, I'm struggling in my house in the Hamptons, looking at my pool with my daughter.
Your daughter's eating
And-
sand?
Yeah, she's just eating sand. I'm like, I don't know if I can live in this America anymore. I went to the store, I got an $8 Arnold Palmer. I was like, I don't know how I'm going to exist in this America. Now, there was a moment when he said life is good, and I was like, hey, you're not wrong about that. But yeah, it's okay. So listen, something we say now, we expect an immediate response from the White House.
Yeah.
A precedent has been set. If we talk about the White House, they respond. And if they don't respond, what do we do then?
Do another episode until they respond.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we don't stop.
We double down.
Damn, I wish we had a better response. I just kind of lobbed up something with no rim around it. It was a volleyball net. Anyway, boys.
Andrew Schulz bragging about his Hamptons lifestyle while dressed like an Ivy League fuckboy on spring break, gearing up for a big weekend of sailing with his dad's buddies without even a hint of irony is some of the saddest shit I've ever seen. Between Schulz, Tom, Bert, and Rogan, the competition for the most out-of-touch douchebag in comedy is fierce. They've all become the people they used to make fun of, and they did it with a straight face and absolutely zero self-awareness. As usual, though, things got worse, because just to show everyone just how much they don't care about any of this backlash, how they're steaming straight ahead without paying any attention to the haters, they're basically completely refusing to acknowledge even an inch of criticism from their fans, right? Maybe not.
I think they think we were supposed to dunk on Trump immediately, make him get up and walk off in 30 seconds, and now we're all happy.
Yes.
We had an hour conversation so we could get information out of him.
that.
But you got to questions like Schulz saying, hey, what about people who are here working hard?
No, actually,
and then Trump saying, well, you got to start with the criminals. He didn't.
Yeah.
So he didn't even do that.
Yeah.
So he's done nothing on those fronts in terms of the promises he made us.
But I don't regret it at all. I don't even regret voting for him at all. Because what you see is all these Democrats that are starting to take up the issues that he was the one campaigning on. Ooh. So essentially what he's done is pull the Democrat Party over to the center. So if they start talking about these issues, Ro Khanna, who we have on later on this podcast. So today we got I don't even know if I already said this, but we got the Pod Save America boys.
And Ro Khanna.
The OG podcast bros. They don't get the credit that they deserve, but they are the OG bros. Okay. We've kind of taken over the Manosphere bro thing, but they were in Obamasphere bros or whatever that was back in the day.
We appropriate.
So we sorry for taking that from you guys. But no, they're brilliant, and they've got great perspective on what's happening politically and like how the Dems can take advantage of these kind of moments where the right is fractured. And then we got Ro Khanna, who's pushing up this bill in Congress right now where he wants to release the entire unredacted Epstein files. Yeah. And we're going to get a moment where hopefully we get to see which congressmen decide that they do not want that out there. And that is going to be very telling.
Yes.
So I'm very excited for you guys to hear this conversation. But that is a great point. We're really fucking awesome.
That makes perfect sense. Just to prove how nonpartisan we are, we decided to find the biggest fucking Democrats we could and phone it in for a 2-hour comedy podcast. What the fuck are you guys doing? Just stop already. Let it go. You're not political journalists. You're dick joke comedians who do ad reads for Blue Chew and BetterHelp. They're so stuck in the whole left versus right bullshit that they don't realize it's about the average Joe versus the elites who seem to just get away with everything. And so Schulz's solution is to brag about his millionaire lifestyle and access to the White House. I mean, come on, bro. Do they not even see the slightest hint of irony in all of this? At this point, Schulz is in the lead for the most out-of-touch douchebag in comedy. At least Bert has momentary glimpses of self-awareness, where he realizes that he's a completely insufferable narcissist with daddy issues and a drinking problem. Andrew, on the other hand, surrounds himself with yes-men who massage his ego and make him feel like the smartest guy in the room.
It was a bit of a media storm that happened after some criticisms that I had over Trump, and I had of John, and I was like, John, like, am I off on this? Like, what is the best way to handle like somebody that I voted for that is not living up to their promises? I'm criticizing them, and some responses are, well, yeah, you're an idiot. And I was like, I don't know if that's the best way to build a coalition. What do you think? What do you think about that, John?
No, that drives me nuts because I think, first of all, Trump lies a lot. He's always lied a lot. And it also assumes that every single person in America was supposed to be paying attention to like every single word that Donald Trump has ever said.
Right.
And which they're not. But then aside from all that, like you said, if you want to persuade people to join your coalition, which is how you actually win elections, then when someone says, oh, I'm disappointed in the person I voted for, you say, well, welcome to our side. That's the smart thing to do. Unless you want to just be right on the internet, which a lot of people just do, so.
Yeah.
So can someone explain why Andrew Schulz is trying to build a political coalition? The guy has completely lost his marbles. He's so far in his own feelings over the backlash that he's trying to build a safe space for his ego to live and grow. Just until the weekend when he'll shoot off to the Hamptons to unwind from another tough week of podcasting and arguing with bots on Twitter. It's a hard life being part of the top 250, but thank God they're here to save us from the tyranny of big government and the destroyers of free speech. Anyway, if you enjoyed today's video, please hit the like button and make sure you subscribe to this channel and my main one, Podcast Cringe. There's also a link in the description to my Patreon if you're interested in my longer form uncensored content. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you in the next one.
I don't know what it says about me, but when they were like, "F you," maybe I have mommy issues or something, I was like, I kind of like this. Like.